Hi, I'm Sam Valesky with Calavera Jams here at Passel Studios in San Antonio, Texas. I'm joined tonight by Buquor Hernandez, the artist behind Buquor. Thanks for joining us tonight, Roy.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here, man.
I appreciate it.
How are you feeling tonight? How's it going?
I feel great right now.
Yeah?
Good to be amongst friends during
Yeah.
this trying time.
Yeah, it's cool. I've never done like an interview like this before. So
Neither have we.
Oh, really?
This is our,
this is
our
cool.
litmus test.
Yeah, I've seen this like all the time. You see it all the time.
And you never expect it's going to be you.
No.
But I mean, you obviously have something that's thought-provoking enough to where hey, you're a local artist. I mean, let's get to the point. You're a local artist, and we've played with you in other bands before, and you took the time to put out something that was your own Buquor. What it came into, and from what I see, I think you started like 2 years ago or something like that, or
So the first show that I had was in 2016.
was it J-Nose?
I think no, it was in Victoria.
Oh,
Victoria,
okay.
Texas. Yeah,
Over there with the Vincent's Betrayal guys.
Yeah. It was so weird how that came up. I had just gotten this new machine from Native Instruments, and like I was just going like so hard on like.
What was it? A sampler?
It's kind of like a sampler, like a modern day sampler. Nothing like crazy like analog.
Just something
it's all
modular.
digital. Yeah.
Okay.
It's great, man. Like I love it. Made so much stuff, and I was just getting so hyped, and I was like, man, like this is great. I just want to play drums to this like all day, So like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start my own thing. My other band, my main band Remanon was like doing like we weren't kind of doing a lot of shows, so I was kind of like, man, I want to do this right now, So I talked to my friends in Victoria, and they were like, yeah, like we have a show coming up with this guy. It was a great solo artist himself, but he dropped out at the last minute. But I still went, and it was my first show, and like I fucking prepared my ass off for it, and it was cool. I mean, I liked it. I posted it up on YouTube. The one on YouTube that I have there, that's my first show.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like no one's like ever seen anything before, so like that's the first one anyone's ever seen. Even my parents were out there. Like they drove from San Antonio to go see it. Like it was like the first thing that I've ever done. That's
cool.
So yeah, so it was great.
Real intimate feel.
And what parts of what you bring to the table as an artist and as a musician did you want to hone in on when you did that debut?
Well, so like it really, really all started back to when I got my first. It was like this Digitech delay pedal.
I love those
Dude,
Digitech.
it was great. It was great, man. And it had like
up.
Dude, it had 4 seconds of loop time. So like I had this 4-track recorder. It was like this thing, something that Hermes Music used to sell. Way
Hermes,
back in the day.
oh my God.
It was like a 4-track recorder. I would put a tape in there and then make these little 4-second loops, like real intricate, like put a mic in there and like play some drum stuff and then bass and it was something that I just loved doing. And like it was like 2000, maybe something. I started doing that,
And everybody was already in a band at that time. Like everybody was already either in a band, and that was the thing. That was the hardest thing, was finding another band member that you could mesh with to actually create something. And you're like, why don't I just do it with myself? Yeah. Like that was the whole thing. I've tried myself, but I failed miserably.
I played with myself in that room. I did.
No shit.
So I had actually, so I don't go off. Yeah, I had some band workings in the making at that time. But you're right. Sometimes those guys can't get together and you're just there in your room, like. You're probably grounded or something, Like
exactly.
Back in my day, I was always grounded, whatever. So like, it started with that, and then that really just grew into this songwriting thing, and like, I had a few ideas already for individual songs. It's so hard to not go off.
I mean, go for it. I mean,
that's so many different ways.
That's where, because I mean, like I see a lot of artists in the city, like I saw a lot of great bands. I mean, throughout the city, from like when I started playing music to, I mean, say 5 or 10. Because I mean, we always caught your shows, like no matter where we could, with Remanon, because we
Right.
always, I mean, with what was it before? A Quarter Dissonance.
It was a Quarter Dissonance.
Okay,
yeah,
so a
man.
Quarter Dissonance.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we loved y'all. Y'all were our go-to shows whenever we wanted to go see shows. But then it kind of dissipated around, like I guess, like 2010 or something like that. The scene just kind of like, it didn't really go anywhere. There was still a lot of good music, but it just kind of like the scene changed, everything changed.
I mean, well, people get older. Like of course, like the high school kids start getting out, and their friends start being in bands, and so like their stuff's hot, and like a lot of people forget about the old bands, like but there's always something good out. Like, dude, like there's so many good bands out right now. Like, there's always something to be inspired from. Like,
especially now, there's so much content.
dude, there's so many people that I look up to in the local scene that it's just like, damn, I want to play with them. Like I want to play with this person. I want to collab in some way with this person.
You were talking about like how you were spending a lot of time alone in your room working on these like small pieces at a time. So was there something kind of cathartic about that, working on like little micro segments and making them intricate, and then on top of that, then going and layering them and putting them together?
Yeah, I mean, I just love, like, that you can do so much in one pedal. Like, so like because of that, it was like infinite almost. I could literally like put so much into 4 seconds, like even whether if it's just like a thing, like a little sound, anything, like, so like the ability to do that, like
that memory on that pedal, it just like, was amazing at the time.
Because I did it onto a 4-track, so like I only had 4 tracks to do it, so I technically had like so many like possibilities. Like,
I mean, and going from analog to digital, like the analog, it sounds great. The analog sounds, because you have like the full bodied of the sound waves, but like with digital, you can do so much more in such an expansive part of that delay.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, like I said, like the whole thing started because I got this machine.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, like it's called Native Instruments Machine.
That's what it's called. Machine. Okay, yes, I have.
So, yeah. It's MASCHINE. Shout out Native Instruments. Anyway, so I love them, man. So like, going from a Digitech pedal to this was just like game changing for me, and like it was literally that, like this, and then of course I met my bandmate, so my solo stuff took a big backseat for a while, and then I was doing stuff with A Quarter Dissonance and Remanon and stuff like that, and then like well, kind of similar to what you said, like the scene kind of like, my friends, the bands that I went to go see, they didn't book as many gigs as they used to. Yeah. So it was weird.
Oh my God.
To like just go out as like, like an old.
It used to be lucrative. I mean, there used to be just to ask on to be a show, and they were like, "Yeah, let's go."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just kind of petered out.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I mean, it's crazy how it all worked out. It just worked out perfect. Like everyone kind of was just like not booking shows, and like we rarely booked our own show as a band. Yeah. Like people always were like, we were so bad at that. That's like not what you want to do as a band. Like you want to be able to book your own show. Like, we would always just piggyback on other people's show, like, and anyways, that's going off another thing. So like after a while, I forgot where I was going. Damn, I do that a lot. So yeah, so back to the machine thing, back to the digital thing. We went to I don't know what I'm
all right. Sam question.
I was gonna say
Sam question.
Really weird.
All right. So when you first started getting into music, what was your entry? What was your segue into music? How were you introduced to music? What was your first instrument?
Well, I started playing guitar at a younger age. That was my first thing that I did. And at the place that I took guitar lessons at, there was always like a couple rooms down, there was a drummer who had like an amazing setup. And like I would always like try to be playing guitar, and like the drum lessons would be going off, and I'd be trying to learn like Puff the Magic Dragon or something like that, and like this guy would be going off, and like eventually I was like, I want to learn that, you know, like I just want to be the loudest, you know, I want to do that, you know, so like eventually I started playing drums, and like this was when I was like maybe I don't know 12 or 13. I really got into like calling my friends, be like, hey, you said you play guitar, right? Like, let's like get together, you know. And like around middle school, we started kind of getting into the band scene, you know, like, and like doing band stuff, you know, like hanging out, playing music together. Like,
wait, so you're from Victoria too?
No, I'm from San Antonio.
Okay, because I know that who is it? Matt is from Victoria.
Matt, yeah.
Okay. Because I know he's doing something with JT.
Right, yeah. So Matt is the guitarist for Remenon, my other band. Like that, that's like my main band that I'm in. And then I'm also in another band called.
Also, shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy, what's up?
Oh yeah, Jimmy's also in your band.
Yeah, he's also in
your
Soap
band
Kings.
that you play. Yeah.
He plays.
So
bass.
like it's another thing about local music that we can go
Yeah.
off on. It's, just, like,
it's all in the same vein.
Dude, we're
same
sluts,
vein.
Dude, for
Yeah,
each
oh
other.
my
Like,
god,
it's so great. I love it. You know, like so. Anyways, like so Matt's the guitarist, and he's from Victoria, Texas. Well, he's from Port Lavaca or somewhere. You know, he's from Victoria, Texas. And that's how I have the whole connection with Victoria, Texas. But that's like I said, Remenon's like my main thing. Like I love doing that stuff, you know. Like
yeah, it was always a good time.
Yeah, you know, and that's how I met you.
Yeah. We actually did shows originally as Don't Ask. So the original band that we had originally played with was Don't Ask, and that was with Art Martinez and his brother Luis. Yeah. And so that sort of, once that dissipated, we all kind of like grew into separate ways. Art wanted to do something that was individually his own, and then we started doing more. He did his first show without me, or like his first few shows without me, and then I joined on.
I caught in that pocket of him not being with
you.
Yeah,
so
you were the first person I saw
and stuff like that.
Yeah, because when I first saw Art, I was like, who is this guy? Like, what is this guy think he's doing? Yeah. Like, I love it. Like I love it.
Yeah.
You know, and then so then when he got you, I was like, oh, he added to his band. Yeah. But obviously y'all have had that.
I mean, I've been playing with him for over 10 years now.
It just added to it, you know? Yeah. I was like, man, y'all need a fucking band, dude.
Yeah.
So like I mean anyway, so like y'all got together and like y'all did y'all's thing and like y'all killed it, and like
it was. I mean those that was like the really fun days of the scene, because like Buquor, I never really saw like that sort of side of you outside of. I mean, you're a great drummer. You were on the scene. I mean, I always wanted to work with you. We actually, I think me and Art went to go do a tryout with you for the Sofa Kings or Don't Ask. It was like one time. It was fun. It was literally, we didn't even try out. We just played around together.
They wanted me to play bass. Well, they asked for a bass player, and I was like, yeah, I can play bass.
Oh, you know what? That's the original foundations of Buquor. Honestly, that day was the original. I see it now because we tried out, and I remember what Art said after we left. He said, he's too good for us, bro. he was like, he's too good for us. And we fucking left. And that was like, because what he was playing by then was already a sort of like a symphonic. It was very, what do you call it? What's that band? Elephant Talk. King Crimson.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it was very King Crimson. Like I heard it immediately, and it was really cool and everything.
Real quick, I just want to add. I think I said if he joins our band, we're gonna have to change the name to Roy Hernandez and the Sofa Kings.
that was okay. It was along those lines.
He basically had like we had like 3 songs recorded, and he heard them and he wrote his own parts to those songs, and it was just wow.
It was crazy. It was literally like I was
I'm
like,
so sorry.
No.
It was great.
It was really cool, but we're just like, we're not there yet. Like it was literally.
Fun fact: Jimmy was in the room during the tryout, and Jimmy is now our bass player.
Dude, I was literally about to say that. I was like, so
he was there.
So to this day, I'm still like so nervous when it comes to my music. Like, I always feel like I need that's why I always have that's kind of why I have the sheet in front of me when I play.
Oh yeah.
Is because I'm kind of like really shy. Like when it comes to performing alone,
it's the Maynard
like,
effect. I mean,
it's weird. It's weird. Like if you put one other person in front of me, I can perform all day. Take my shirt off even. When I was younger. When I was younger.
Yeah.
When I was younger.
Not so much now.
But yeah, not now. But but it's just weird. So like now, I had to put up a whole fucking sheet. Like.
Well, it's. I mean, you kind of play that music that like bears your soul. Like you're kind of putting on.
Vulnerable. Like you're the only one up there making an offering. So whatever the reaction is, you feel like it's all on me.
I mean, yeah, I totally get that. It's just, who cares to see me? Like other than like maybe like a silhouette maybe of drumming. Like that's
you
cool.
mean you don't think people want to see you?
I mean, it's opposed to like seeing some cool visuals or seeing me like maybe a mix is cool. That's why like I really would like to like I hate to say that Buquor is a thing because I keep on going off, but like speaking of Jimmy, like he's a big part of like how it started.
No shit.
Like I couldn't have done any of my first 3 or 4 shows without him. Like he would literally be there helping me set up and like taking all that
Just
stress
Road
off
Dog.
me. Like
yeah, man.
Like it was just me up there. Like and I had to set up my own stuff and like I had 2 different DAWs going. I had a Pro Tools and machine going. He was great, so like he helped. So it is hard. So like, like it is hard to be, like you said, it's vulnerable. You're out there, you're making an offering and you're just like, no one else is there.
Especially when it's your friends. I mean, this community is sort of like a small music community. And it's like when you're just like, all right, I don't really care about like who else sees it, but like when it's to my friends, these people like really their opinions matter.
Yeah.
And I really want them. But that's the thing. Like why I feel sometimes that you just have to like let your friends see you, like as embarrassing or as you feel it is, or it can be really impressive. I mean, I know people who get stage fright in their 50s and 60s still. I mean, that's pretty crazy to me because I mean now we're actually on like video and things like that and on stage and we really just put ourselves out there just by putting ourselves as the focus. The focus.
Yeah,
of,
like
you're looking at.
No, I totally get that, and like it's hard. I mean, it really is like.
Do you not think that people would be interested in seeing like how you work on the drums and actually seeing you, the artist, that is creating all of these sounds? Or
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, see, and it's hard because right now it's literally maybe just me pressing play, like, and there's some interacting that I do have within like within everything. Like I'll play keyboards, sometimes when I'm playing drums. What I won't do ever again is sing without anyone hearing me with my effects like y'all did. Like that was horrible. Like,
that was
because no one will ever do that. No one will ever hear me like that. Like
no, but you know what?
And that's not how I planned it. Like
it was honest.
It didn't
though.
sound
it
like
was
it
honest.
was.
Like
Yeah, it didn't sound like it was meant to be the final product. It felt like I was.
It felt like it needed to be part of
That was
something
like a
else.
slide
disc,
disc, but I get it. No, I'm kidding. I don't
in
care.
the process, and it was
You're right.
interesting to me to see that, and then like see the effect.
Yeah,
and see
exactly.
the inner workings of it.
We saw the videos and the videos with the vocals.
Right.
It was great. It really because I think that's what she was saying. Like it's part of something else. It's literally like all we heard was your vocals, but it like honestly, once we saw a part of everything, because we saw you do the vocals and then we saw you do the drumming at the same time. So like I was literally, I mean, I stood by the whole time. And
Dude, you were literally standing by.
I was
Holding
literally
the
standing
drums.
by. I
You had
was.
to like put his
Yeah.
foot
I was.
on the kick drum
Because I loved it. And it
kept
was
on
like,
going.
if you were going to be honest, then I was going to be honest. I was going to be like, honestly, I want, whatever help I could be or whatever it is.
Right. No, it was great. I loved it.
That was the thing. Like once I saw the videos too, like even without the music, the visuals or anything else, I saw one of my friends literally putting out what he felt at that moment. And without draw of energy from himself, he literally just, I saw honesty. So that was a really cool thing. And once you put the videos to it, it was, I like to see my friends succeed in the way that they want to succeed. I don't care how they succeeded in anywhere else except for how they want to be seen.
I mean, and you know, aside from the whole rated R thing and not being able to play my original video,
still cool.
like I was like, you know, one of my friends, I posted something about it, and one of my friends was like, dude, look at some copyright free stuff on YouTube. Like, we did it for our stuff, and like, you know, shout out John, like he does his other stuff, like with his stuff, like he's a great producer, film. Anyways, so like I found out this copyright free stuff, and I was like, bro, like I kind of want to do this. Like I kind of would rather play. Like now it's cool because it forced me to put a second visual pack together. Like, and now I have a second one. So like, you know, if you ever wanted to see me, like if you ever see me live, like I'll probably play that rated R one.
Because you don't have to like really. This is me, and I don't have to like have a channel source or anything for it to like go through for it to be explicit or edited or anything like
it's
that.
unfortunate that we ran into like that because it's just censoring. It's censorship.
But honestly, like I can't now because of that. It did this.
Well, that's cool,
and I love it. Like I was like, dude, I should have been doing this from like almost like the beginning. Like,
so what were your thoughts behind the visuals that you decided to select now? Like what was the feeling or what, you know, what kind of visuals did you want to put with your music?
That's a great question. Like I'm thinking like I love psychedelics.
Fuck yeah.
I love mushrooms.
Fuck yeah.
I love going into other dimensions. You know, I love it. You know, like I love it. You know, mentally it's cool. You know, like the stuff that you see, the stuff that you feel, the stuff that you experience. It's great. You know, so like as you know, as much as people don't really do those type of things, or as much as they're not doing them at that time, I want to still bring that experience to them. You know, like it would be great if you were literally tripping like while you were at my show. Like, I literally, I don't know, like I would love people to have a bigger experience, you know, because that's what it's for. You know, like I wanted to pick certain videos that were like specifically like trippy, you know, like, like there was like cool,
provocative to the senses.
Yeah, you know, and like, you know, there was cool, like just made you think a little bit, you know, like you know, like why did he do that? Like this is dumb.
Yeah.
Sort of makes you stare your own self-indulgences.
Yeah, you know, like or I saw someone else do that. You know, just anything that makes you think. I don't care what you think about. And then what I wanted to do musically is provide the background for your thoughts.
Soundtrack.
You know, like, you know, your thoughts are there, but like I'm just there. Just so subliminally, I'm there. You know,
it's kind of like a guided meditation, but like rock and roll
exactly.
style.
And like I would love to get it. You know, I mean, there's so many. You know, when I first started thinking about this Buquor thing, you know, I was like, dude, this can turn into like a lot of different things.
An experience, really.
You know, I could do this. You know, like literally. This is going back. But what it first made me think of is when I first saw Cirque du Soleil.
I never saw him, but I've always wanted to go.
You never seen it? You ever seen Cirque du Soleil?
I mean, not in person, but
Dude.
Yeah,
oh my god! I was, you know, my aunt and uncle, they do this medic EMT.
I heard
stuff.
it's like Fantasia in person.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to get some tickets to go one time. I don't know where it was, but it was like phenomenal. The visuals you see and the music you hear is great, but the one thing you don't see is who's making the music.
yeah.
Like,
That's
and
true.
that doesn't matter for some reason. Like that doesn't matter when your mind and your visuals are like optics are like filled with something that just makes you just think. You have no other thought for just like taking it in. Excuse me. The music is just like background. It really is just background.
Yeah.
And that's really what I want to promote the most is just I'm just the background. You know, like I said earlier, like maybe a shadow, a spotlight would be cool to see, like if I'm doing some crazy, like, you know, busy stuff on the drums, to get stuff like that.
That'd be great to where you get to the point to where every time you drum, the visual changes. I'm hoping the technology catches up to what we really want to do in our head.
It is. I'm just so lazy. Like I'm so dumb. Like everyone always like is like, dude, you need to get on Ableton. Like Ableton will do that. Like, you can program
tempo
stuff.
sensing,
You can program all types of things, and like, I mean, it'll get there. You know, it'll get there. And it's just like I kind of want to just focus on the music right now because, the visuals I can get.
I mean,
like
it's serving the purpose that it needs to right now.
Exactly.
I mean, especially in the climate that we're in right now, especially like as a production like we're doing now, visual accompanied by soundtrack that you put to it is the way to go. Because I mean, as a safe person, I don't really want to go anywhere yet. I love my bars, I love my local restaurants, I love all of them, but at the same time, it's not so much that I can't trust what I'm going to do. I don't trust what other people are going to do. So right now, this is a safe way to produce a medium that, this was fun. Like I would love to see more of this. The people who I see who are actually producing the things that they want to do. I mean, there's a few other people that come to mind. I haven't really seen in a while. But locally, like this, I really wanted to adapt to this setting that we have right now.
I'm afraid to name drop because
I am too,
because I don't want to leave anybody out. And
I don't either. There's a lot of people and a lot of active artists still.
Right. This
it's very hard. I mean,
so
eventually we'll get there, and eventually maybe we can have them on later sets.
Right. No, like, dude,
this is where we want to go with the artists that Calavera Jams is very, we want to be conducive to the city. Right. The expressive arts, and not just the musical arts, the visual arts, the artists out there, and hopefully it expands into something else. And that's why I'm glad we chose you as one of our first, because you are very much an adaptation of the visual and the auditory, like both sides, and I really enjoy it.
Right. I mean, everyone always needs a break.
Yeah.
Like you don't always want to see 4 guys, 5 guys, a guy and a girl. 4 girls, 5 girls, 2 girls, 5 standing on stage playing music. Like, how many times have you seen that? Like, you've seen it a lot. So, like, that was never the intention of this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of the intention of every solo artist. They kind of want to do but
solo.
I kind of want to be really cinematic with this project, real epic.
It's more of a production than artists. It's a show.
Right.
It's you get the music, you get the visual art of it, and so you get it in 2 different directions as far as how your senses are going to interpret it.
Right. Cool.
Okay, so Roy, you kind of described your work as like a fantasia, like a trip kind of with the visual and the audio working together, kind of telling a story and invoking feelings. Is there any kind of like dream project that you'd like to see yourself doing? Because I kind of see you as like you'd mentioned having, like maybe little cuts to you showing a little bit of what you're doing in the background with a spotlight or something. It's kind of like a conductor, kind of like in Fantasia.
Yeah. Right. I mean, ultimately, I guess, the goal would be to provide like a whole show with it, get backgrounds, dancers, people to perform during that's the ultimate goal.
Ambitious.
I would say. I mean, just something to work towards, but right now, it's just what I can do. I can pull off videos off the internet, I can play, to music that I've recorded and looped and just do that, for now. I mean, and it's like every project, it's always evolving, like everything's always evolving and changing into something else. I mean, I always encourage like collaboration. Like, Absolutely. If anybody ever wants to like come and play on something or like play drums while I do something else, like that'd always be cool too. Like I always tell people, but right now it's not really happening yet. But that's also another goal for it, but a lot of like whenever I do have like a band idea, like where I hear other instruments and other players, like I immediately go like, maybe this song is maybe meant for my real band. And I'll take it that way. But then I always think of the dreamy aspect, and it's like my main projects are more like
side project to your main project.
Well, they're just like song driven. Yeah. Performance band type.
Sometimes formulaic.
Yeah. Like so it's like a whole different beast to what I want to do. Like I still want to present music to people, but more focusing on like, hey, I know this badass guy who makes badass visual art, but he doesn't have a music for it. It's like, well, let's link up, you know, like, let's do something. Like that's what I want, you know, like I want to keep on growing and like turn it into whatever it can, you know, like if people can get inspired by it, like.
Is there something specific that you want to comment on in society or that you want to inspire within people in your project?
Oh, that's a good question. So like, I guess like any artist, you know, everybody wants to have an escape. You know, everyone wants to, you know, whether it's painting or film, everyone wants to escape reality at some point. That's why art is so big, you know, like, you know, during this whole coronavirus, COVID lockdown, like
a lot of expression.
There was no art. There's no entertainment being had, you know, like it's the whole industry, $billion industry that's just like down the drain, you know.
Gig workers.
You know, so like everyone, like I said, everyone wants to escape, you know, everyone. So like, if I can just add to that, you know, like, you know, in some aspect, you know, I'm not a revolutionary. I'm not trying to like bring on like a hidden message, you know, like I'm just like kind of everybody else. I have the same feelings, heartbreak, success, accomplishment, depression, anxiety, like, you know, the typical feelings that a human has, like just trying to express that through a musical sense, you know, and like
a bearing of the
just
soul.
Add to, you know, like the vibe of everyone's escape, you know,
kind of let everybody know, or like people who do indulge in like your videos and stuff like that, like they're not the only person out there who feels like that, or like maybe they can interpret their own way, like how to cope through these times or how to cope with themselves. And
like we're talking about earlier, like the whole thing behind, you know, well, maybe not the whole thing, but a lot of what I try to do is just make people think, you know, like I don't say things to make people think,
because we like filler music, we like the hits and everything, but sometimes we need to go to something where it's just, you know, us with our thoughts and the music influences our thoughts.
Like any kind of art, you know, you see a silent movie, you know, you're just thinking, you add some music to it, now you're feeling, you know, so it's just like it's like a combination, so it's like, you know, it's kind of just the vibe I want to try to
I can see how your project especially would be relevant to the times right now. It's percussive, and, you know, I think there's a lot of angst right now in society, and has been for the duration of this pandemic and leading up to it. And also it's very introspective, and I think one thing that COVID has definitely forced everybody in the US to do is become a little more introspective.
Oh yeah.
So I could see how your music could really match the current spirit and vibe of the times.
I mean, perfectly said. I mean, I also am a byproduct of what the COVID. So like,
true.
Right.
Anything I'm putting out is because of what I and you are going through. You know, we're all going through it. We're all feeling some type of way, whether it's we want to get back out to normal life, whether we don't want to get back out to normal life. You know, we're all wanting to do something right now. So like I said, I mean, I'm not trying to break down barriers or anything like that. I mean, if you feel inspired, I mean, which I think every artist wants, I mean, that's enough success for me, you know, like for someone to feel inspired by what I do. I mean, but I mean, you know,
making your place or helping somebody make their place in a way that they feel that they matter, because like that's how I feel, like putting out projects that are so enveloped in of self. They kind of put out like, okay, you know, somebody else can take that and think that, you know, I keep going back to soundtrack. I listen to music like years to where it's like, it reminds me of New York City. When I was in New York City, I was down in the dumps and I was working a menial job, and I would just walk. I would walk Manhattan. I would walk Queens. And the music that you play is sort of like like she said, percussive, almost like it made me think of the subway. And then you get out and you're lonely. You have these long drifts of just, you know, ethereal noise. You're singing. And that's very much how I felt, was just like, I just remember walking through snowstorms and just having my headphones in. And that's the type of music that I would listen to at that sort of poignant intermediary point in my life. And I mean, that's sort of what Remanon did too, but they sort of add the funk side to it and things like that. And you sort of like broke it down into, these are very intricate beats, and they're very intricate ways of like getting into your mind and your rhythm as a person listening to it. And it was fun, man. Like it took me back to where concrete jungle sort of mind, like you're watching people, but also you're hearing animal noises.
I mean, no, I mean, and that's a great, you know, like response to like, you know, what I'm doing. I mean, just because it could add to what you're feeling.
Yeah,
you know,
and it
like,
doesn't make me feel alone, because I'm like, all right, I can interpret this the way that the person wants to interpret it, but at the same time, I'm using it as a tool. The music's speaking through me,
right.
And I'm trying to use this music in a way to express my own sort of expressiveness that I need to come to by being inspired by something.
Right. And what that reminds me of is that meme. There's a meme where it's like someone looking out the window, and it's like, whenever you hear a sad part of the song, you like pretend you're like in a music video. Like,
oh my God. Every
like,
time.
Like,
the rain, everything.
That's such a common feeling.
Yeah.
It's for people to like be living their life and hearing music that's like their theme music, their soundtrack. You know?
I feel that way about classical music. I mean, sometimes you got to put on the Beethoven or the Chopin. Like, it's rainy and I'm stuck in traffic. I just got to put it that.
Yeah, I mean, and so I try to. I might be a little bit more niche in the fact that, like, a lot of the stuff that I try to visually put out is like stuff you would see like on drugs. You know, like when you're tripping, or
I mean, it helps.
You know, like, and I try to put those kind of visuals behind.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like some other stuff. Just so like it's always feels like it's like a dreamy, like fever dreamish kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like it's never
A
just,
dreamscape.
never grounded. So like you're never just seeing something like normal. You know, like so like if you see something normal, it's like you're back to your normal. You're back to your real life. So it's like if you, as much as you can show that's not normal, the more escape people can have. You know?
Yeah, and the
so
more
it's
people
like,
actually feel comfortable with that, because like, am I normal? Oh, I think this. Oh, he thinks it too.
It's like,
oh, we're connecting on that sort of like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, music's great, man. That's the cool thing about music. It's always
Connection.
some there's always some kind of way that people find it's their own home in it.
Yeah, and everybody may not like it, but at the same time, the people who do like it are the ones who need it the most.
Right.
Who do you think your fans are? What do you think your fans are identifying with in your work?
I don't know. I mean, just, you know,
Nerds.
I mean, so like, you know,
like me.
When it comes down to the nitty gritty, like I'm gonna be eventually recording these songs and putting them on streaming platforms which aren't visually compatible. You know, like they don't have you know. So like, you know, it does eventually come down to like, all right, well let's also get this music in order. Like, let's not just have it all based on visuals.
Yeah.
Like, let's have some cool music to go with it. So like, you know, I mean, I always try to take my background, you know, jazz, funk, just classical, all type of music, just to put it in there, you know, like, hopefully the fans that like the similar stuff that I interpret, you know, I mean, you know, because so like for instance, like there's some songs where it's just like keyboards and like trippy sounds and then some cool, like some weird affected vocals, heavily you know, processed vocals over it, like to just kind of take you away, or hopefully take you away. But then also in the set, I also have some stuff where it's like I recorded the bass, I recorded the guitar, like stuff that I would take to a live band situation. So like,
and you have to be your own band at that time.
So so like I also, you know, am thinking about the artist aspect. So it's like, you know, like I don't want to just play cheesy bass lines. You know, I want to play something that I like. You know, like, I mean, what I like could be cheesy for all I know. I'm just saying, you know, like I want to play stuff that I like, and hopefully, you know, what I like, other people like, and if they don't, you know, they don't. But there's so many people out there. Someone's gonna like it. Like, there's a market for everything nowadays. I mean, I'm not really too worried about a market for it. I just know that
to affect the people that it needs to affect.
Yeah, like, you know, everyone does, like, you know, everyone who writes music or like makes art, like they have a point to where they're listening in their car to their own art.
Artist to artist.
So if I can get to that point and I'm like digging my own stuff, like, I hate to say it, but it's like if I'm digging it, at least another person will dig it.
I mean, this
is one other person.
This is how Talking Heads went through. Brian Eno, all these guys. This is how the process. Like they made what they wanted to hear. They made what they wanted, and then people liked it.
Right. I mean, we all have the same ears. You know, like no one has different crazy ears. Like we all hear the same type of music. You know, like so if I'm digging it, at least one other person digs it. But like I said, I'm not too worried about that. I just want to put it out. Like I just want people to like put, you know, like. And some things I will take to my other bands. My other band is Remenon. I will take it to them, and like it'll become a whole other thing because those guys are like way better. Like
they're great musicians.
Yeah, they're way better at bass and guitar and singing. So like to them it's just you know, ideas, but you know, like until then I just want to put music out. You know, like I'm sitting on like a lot of music right now, and like y'all having this Calavera Jams outlet, like for me, like. It's kind of opened up a whole like new outlet for stuff I want to do, you know, like
hopefully does it in the future for, I mean, that was one of our hopes was like, you know, I mean, an artist that we felt comfortable with, but also an artist that, you know, we felt that needed to be heard a little bit more. I mean, you hear all of the bands on the ticket all the time and everything like that, but I miss going to like house shows. I miss going to like these places where you would hear these artists, you know, who really, I mean, what was it? Elm or what was that street? What was that house?
Oh, the house on
Evergreen House.
House on Elm Street.
No. House on Evergreen. Evergreen used to have a lot of crazy artists that like you that you would see throughout the times, but it was literally just raw. We booked them. Okay, you want to play, and then you know you would actually see a band that was, you know, fully themselves. Right. They weren't catering to. Well, okay, I just need to get this out, and that's what I really like to see out of a band. Is not like. I mean, cover bands are cool, you know, whatever, for entertainment. That music where you don't have to think. It's background when you're slamming drinks down with your boys and stuff like that. But sometimes I do want to go to a spot and I just want to see the artist and I want to see the visuals. And sometimes I want to think more of what I'm thinking about at the time. I mean, it is an escape in a lot of ways, but at the same time, sometimes you need that escape.
I think one thing that we forget a lot of times in society is that it's not just our artists that need us. Like, Calavera Jams is about providing a space for artists, but also it's about providing artists in our spaces. Like, we need the arts. It's not just our artists need us. We need the arts. The arts are the expression of everything that's happening in society. They become part of history. When we study anything looking backwards, we look at the arts. So, I mean, you look at the sculptures, you look at the scriptures, you look at the paintings. I mean,
they go hand in hand.
Exactly.
You know, culture and art.
She said it well.
Hand
like,
hand, you know what I mean?
We need it now.
Exactly. Yeah. Right now, especially in a time to where mundane is every day because it's supposed to be, because we live in a time to, I mean, we haven't experienced a time like this since polio. And, you know, we're really at a time to where we're either going to be selfish or selfless, or we're going to be human or non-human.
That's right.
And these times connecting to people in these spaces is very much the human part that we want to keep. To say that the arts aren't dead, the arts, I mean, they had so many bills that just killed off arts. And now look at this point where we have this escape. I mean, even as friends, this is a good time to me. This is one of the like better times that I've had in the past year.
I mean, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's just another platform for art to be expressed through, you know, and it's great for everybody. Like, there's so many people that go into people seeing art, you know, like it's cool, you know, like it's great that what y'all are doing, you know. I mean, Calavera Jams is you know, one of many organizations that are bringing that to people, and like this, people's gotta start getting hip to it. Like, I mean, everything is going to digital now. Everything's streaming. Like,
but we want to have fun.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we all want to have fun.
You know, there's a lot of information that's being put out there. If you know, you just look for it. You know what I mean, and it's cool. I mean, y'all do.
It's a good time. It's a good time and a tough time. It really is.
It is. Yeah. It is a tough time. Trying to stay busy is hard.
Absolutely, I know. People getting laid off and everything like that.
What are you working on right now?
Sorry, gross. Besides, you know, like this music stuff, and I have my other band I've mentioned like a million times already, Remenon. We're doing something really cool right now, like for us at least, like without saying too much, we have a whole new set of songs that we're coming out
wow.
with
Nice.
that we've been working on, and like another added surprise to those songs that are, it's like, it's so great.
Something to
I'm
look
just-
forward to.
Yeah, these songs are so wild, man. Like I fucking love them. I love these songs. But besides that, and then I'm in another project called Crowns and Coffins. It's like an alt rock kind of band, and like it's going pretty productive. Like we're doing things like pretty fast. We just recorded an album, or like I wouldn't say an album. We recorded like 3 or 4 songs, and we're ready to start doing videos to those songs.
Nice.
So like, you know, after that, you know, that's how the game is. You know, you do song, video.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so we're doing stuff like that, and then in the meantime, just trying to, you know, be a good dad, and you know, trying
Where
to
was
work.
it that you're working?
So I'm engineering at the Woodshed Rehearsal Studios.
Oh,
I don't know
okay,
if
yeah,
you've
that's
ever
right.
heard. It's a rehearsal studio for bands to go and practice to, you know, practice whatever, you know. We have 3 you know, live rooms that you can come, and they're fully stocked, you know, with drums and PA and everything, and
Shout out to Josh.
the owner Josh Spence.
Josh.
Shout out Josh. The owner Josh Spence. He, you know, one day he asked me, he's like, "Hey man, like how much do you know about recording?" And I was like, I know a bit, you know, like I know a bit. And so it's like, from then, you know, we started filming him do like cover videos, and like offered like drummers to come and do their videos, and then eventually it turned into like, man, these videos are sounding like better and better, and like
Yeah.
they're sounding pretty good. Like, let's get some bands in here, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
and like, so we slowly turning into like a recording studio. So like we've invested a lot of money into it, you know. There's
I've seen it. It's pretty.
there's
Real
a
pretty.
lot of thought that went into the making of the rooms and the sound. We've treated it great, you know, like, you know, we've tried to focus on getting just good natural sounds. If you're ever looking for somewhere to record, I mean, we're pretty affordable. Like, we're really affordable. And we're just kind of starting out, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's an upgrade. I'm sure Josh remembers. I don't know if you ever went to Ampus Studios.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I mean, shout out Jamie, man. Rest in peace, Jamie. Actually.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. Local.
Yeah.
Ampus Studios it was very bare bones, but at the same time they provided a space when, like, I mean, it was like $6 for an hour, $12 for.
Dude, it was
Oh
great.
my
man.
god.
Yeah, and they had a lot of rooms, and that's what San Antonio needed. People
Yeah.
don't always have a garage or something to practice in.
That's
so-
that was where we went to express the thing where you just slammed on guitar, slammed on drums, slammed on
Yeah.
bass, and that's where the projects that we eventually worked into now, like, I mean, they had to come
great.
from a rustic spot, and they expanded into what they are now.
I mean, it's great. I mean, it's so great that even like other businesses have picked up on it, like storage units.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, like, you know how many people would pay for just one of our rooms? And they started getting in on it. So it's like, I mean, it's a needed thing in every city, every big city. There's bands that want to create music, but they can't. So like, you know, what they're doing what we're doing at the Woodshed, what Josh is doing is like, it's great. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
bands come, and it's very affordable just to practice there. You know what I mean? And like I said, like he puts a lot of thought into the drums there. So like every drum set that's available is like great. Me and him are both drummers, so like whenever bands come to record, like we really focus on the drums. One thing we tell people is like, if you do anything, like, come get your drums recorded at the Woodshed.
Yeah, y'all got mic'd up,
You know,
set up.
Everyone has home studios with Neural DSP and Axe Effects and Kempers. Everyone is a great guitarist at home. They have great setups. I've seen it. I've heard it. So it's like, if anything, just come do your drums with us. You know, take your stems, take them back to your house, and call it a day. You know, but like, you know, we're really focusing on just getting better and better over there. So like, that's keeping me really busy. You know, like,
That's good.
I mean, like, you know, it's almost with the exception of COVID. Like, man, right before COVID hit, we were like,
I remember,
day,
yeah.
we're working every day, and then the COVID hit, and it's like we took a big hit, and then the storm hit, that winter shit hit, and it's whatever, and then now it's like people are slowly coming back out, you know. So So it's busy. I'm staying busy now. Like it's great. I mean,
That's good.
So, Roy, I know you had mentioned to me earlier that you had a special project that you were working on with your Sacred de Juno song. Is that right?
Right. So that song was one of the first songs that kind of started the whole Buquor thing, and it's really just like a drumless song, like for drummers to play to. It has like ups and downs and a lot of sections, and that's what I really wanted to focus on for my live shows at the beginning, was just like play drums, you know. So that song is really detailed. So I've actually invited like 7 or 8 of my favorite drummers, like in San Antonio and close by, some that have moved out, to play on it. And so far I've gotten like some pretty good feedback, and like, so that's going to be coming out in like somewhere like mid-April. It's going to be like a little compilation video of them playing to that song. And it's just something that I'm just like so stoked for. It's just, you know, something to get them out there, my songs out there. Like, I want to get more into the drumless song thing, you know, and like provide music for people just to play to, you know what I mean?
That's really cool.
That's something that I was like, man, like I really want people to play to this. So like these guys that are doing it are like some of my favorite cats. Like, they're so good. I got like a jazz guy, this gospel chops guy just fucking kills it. This other just like indie math rock guy that's just like
shit.
insane. And it's gonna be cool. Like, it's gonna be real cool. Like, so I'm hoping to get that done pretty soon, and then once that's done, it's just gonna be another thing to promote. But
you gave this same piece to each of these artists to just do what they would with percussively.
Yeah. Just their take on it, you know.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because so like it all. I don't. It's hard because there's this guy I follow on Instagram. His name is Kyrie, and like he fucking makes some of the dopest drumless tracks, like dopest. So like it kind of stemmed from there. Like, not really. I mean, stemmed from there, but like I was like, man, like people want this. Like, this is something people could want to do. Like, so like I just started kind of hopping on it. You know, I was like, if I want to play to it, like, I know someone's gonna want to play to it.
Yeah.
And like I said, like there's like some guys that they're like, dude, I want to get on this like so bad, and like they're gonna kill it. Like, it's gonna be something to look forward to in the Buquor camp. You know, coming forward. You know, like so.
And where can we find you again?
Well, I'm on right now. I'm just on Facebook. I don't really have an Instagram. Following my Instagram is like my personal Instagram. I need to maybe change that, you know, like kind of
just create your own page.
Yeah, just get my own page on for the Buquor stuff. Facebook, you can find me, you know, like I post stuff there.
He posted a bunch of videos recently. Definitely check them out. I believe it's 1 through 6 of a series.
Yeah, I recorded with y'all guys. The live stream I did with y'all guys. I recorded 6 songs. I made little videos for them, so you can find them on there on YouTube.
Great, definitely check those out.
Look up, you know, Buquor on YouTube, and you can find it, or Facebook, and it'll be on there, man. Yeah.
Well, and keep us posted on the on that project, because that's really cool. That's like
definitely
community.
Hopefully we'll
and
get you on
integrative
again.
art, and it sounds like a lot of your art is just an invitation for people to feel and contribute. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want everything to be collaborative as much as possible. Like this, you know, this is great. You know.
Yeah, it's been a fun time. I mean, I appreciate you coming on here, and you know, it's really been cool seeing you through the process, especially as a friend over the years. You know how you went from. I mean, you were always on the progressive side of Friends. I mean, that whole side of Friends has always been. They've always been very progressive, but it's always good to see, you know, the continuation of the work and everything. And I'm glad you came out, you know, as an artist for Calavera Jams, and you know, hopefully we have you again on in the future especially for this project that you have that you said is continuing on.
Yeah, man. I mean, absolutely. I mean, Buquor's the thing, you know. As long as, you know, I'm alive doing music, it'll be there. You know, I mean, if it wasn't for people like y'all though getting us out there, I mean, it's a whole thing.
Appreciate
it,
man.
So like, I mean, kudos to y'all. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the beers.